right, boys, my holy arbiter, Torment 12 update. Now there will be two parts to this video: a one-handed with a shield, which I'm pretty sure is just capped out, and then a two-hander. So my one hand and shield obviously has more toughness. It gets up to 2,800,000 toughness, and the damage averages between 60 to 100 billion, while the two-hander averages 170 to 240 billion. Now, I want to put, because I've been working on the one-handed and shield, it just, you've got big life on hit, you've got big resistances. When you go into Arbiter form, this goes up by 1.8 million on top of the million. It's so much. The build's pretty much min-maxed. There's a few things we can tweak, but for the most part, like, it ain't gonna get better than this outside of maxing out Paragon glyphs, because I think all mine are level like 106, 106, 105, 104, 104. So we still have some scaling to do there, but outside of that, it's just max level. Get the rest of, I think there's like 4 more nodes I can get. Put us probably near 100% vulnerable damage, and then just grabbing a few odds and ends here and there. Skill tree hasn't changed. Build guide will be down in the description for the Mobilix written version. But yeah, here's my thing, right? I've cleared pit, what was that, up to 105, 110, 110. I've cleared 105. This build comfortably clears tier 100 Torment 12, and it very comfortably flies through Torment 10. Like, I honestly am probably going to keep grinding Torment 10. 11 is fine with my two-handed build and get through it. Torment 12 just isn't fun. It takes longer. Everything one-shots you, even with like 1.4 million to all res. It's still, I'm still getting one shot. And it's not as fast. In ARPGs, you want to be fast. So honestly, me flying through Torment 10 and running through a nightmare dungeon in 30 seconds is going to yield more loot and more chances to get loot versus struggling on Torment 12 for an extra, what, 200% experience, and not even, nobody even knows what the drop rates are. They're probably not even 1% higher. So it's probably like abysmal. So honestly, take this build and just grind Torment 10. You're gonna have it's way more fun when you're just walking around just zapping everything and going crazy. So honestly, that's where I'm at with that. I'd rather have fun than like struggle. Torment 12 just doesn't seem worth it. I will say, if you're gonna try to do Torment 10 Uber Mephisto, the problem is our big damage comes from this, and if you're not getting kills when you go into Mephisto to fight him, you're missing out on this damage. Other than the two-hander, I'm missing out on 148% damage. So if you're gonna fight Mephisto, you're gonna have to change these to Disciple skills, deal 60% more damage. But this build is very comfy. If you've been following the streams, you're just blasting through content. This version for Torment 10, easy. You're never gonna die. You're doing a ton of damage. I will say, for resource management, make sure you have at least one, where is it at? I have +5 faith regen. Make sure you get either 4, I would say 5 or 6 to faith regen. Okay? And then make sure you get life on hit. Just so if your fortify and your shield go down, you'll stay topped up. And push crit chance. That's the biggest thing we're doing. With the runes, we have the Neo Q, and then we have the Bakgar. So basically, we constantly have another 10% crit chance while we're moving, which is all the time. So we're at 72% crit chance. And the good thing about having a high crit with faith regeneration and resource management, we have put in, I think it's this one. Yeah, we have honed now. Skills, once you get the additional bonus, skills that critically strike generate 1 faith. So basically, when you're divine lancing and you're doing falling star and you falling star into a mob, you critical strike like what, 20 enemies at once? That's a 20 faith resource gain just there, and then you stab and you stab. You're constantly topped up. You can literally stab with Divine Lance forever and never run out. And then on top of that, I did get a Ring of the Starless Skies to drop. So spending your primary resource reduces the resource cost of your skills and increases your damage by up to 50%. So with those two, you're never running out of resource. But I did take the Faith regen off and only had the standard, I think it's 1.5. Absolutely horrible. It's the kills, the critical strikes are not enough to keep it up. You need to have between 5 and 6. It's just how it has to be. All right. But outside of that, I mean, you know, I've got the Air of Perdition now. I've got Tauriel's Might. I've got the Ring of the Starless Skies. I managed to get a ancestral unique of the Sanctus of Kethamar. I hit a greater affix for life. I transfigured it for +9 item quality. I've got obviously the aspect that comes with it, and then I've got an additional transfigured aspect, which you can do on amulets. You can keep re-rolling your amulets for this. If you go and I put it in, you can do transfigure, and you can use this, the Kulian Tuning Prism. It's only usable on amulets, and it stays modifiable after. So before you do the final transfigure, you can do this with an amulet and roll for a second aspect. So now I'm weakening enemies, and then that's more damage reduction. And then on top of that, I have a talisman, a unique talisman, wired skin, who knows? Like a dragon, I don't know. Attacks apply vulnerable to distant enemies. All of our attacks apply vulnerable now. And then all of our attacks are now doing weakened. So this gives us an extra 37% times damage. So this is a massive damage upgrade. If you can get that, go for it. And then I keep going to the cube and re-rolling extra set pieces to try to get +3. I've got +3, +3, +3, +2, +2. So that's +13 to my skills. And then I've got an extra like 4 to core skills. My Divine Lance is at 31 out of 15. It's pretty massive. Everything else is at 25. But that's kind of all the updates. I wish I could get like +3, Phys Red's good, impairment reduction, whatever. Potion healing, I'll keep rolling until I get something better. But yeah, my gear is absolutely cracked. Like, look at these gloves. Greater affix on the strength, greater affix on damage while on Arbiter, and greater affix on critical strike damage multiplier. And then we masterworked it and hit it for 104%. Absolutely insane. Crazy gloves. So basically this build has just been pushed to its limits. It's not gonna get much better, you know. It's just not gonna get much better. So I'm gonna go ahead, we're gonna run through just a quick Torment 10 just to show you how quick and easy it is. I'll show you the stats when we got all our buffs up, and then I think our crit strike damage gets up to like 2000%, vulnerables over 1000. And it's just a good Torment 10 farm. Like I said, it can do 11. It's just a little slower. And it's just, I don't know, Torment 10 just, it's the right amount of fun. It's the right amount of quickness. So I'm gonna put my two-handed away. You know, we'll run an Undercity. I don't want to use my legendaries. I'm saving up for a mythic. We'll just run a Torment 10 Undercity just so I can show you just how easy this build is. It's so great. You come in, you're gonna pop your ultimate. But I mean, you literally can just walk. You don't even have to, you can just stand here. You don't even have to do anything crazy. Pop this. It's just, you know, like I said, it can do Torment 11, it can do Torment 12, but it's just not, it's not fast, it's not fun. You know, I'd rather blast and have fun and have like a 1% less drop rate versus like struggling and have to worry about one shots and really play like a crazy person, you know. But as you can see, my resource just hasn't run out at all. There's a 112 billion hit right there. And our shield's up. So if you look, our toughness is at 2,900,000. Almost 3 million on all res. And then our offensive, our crit strike, vulnerable damage above 2,000. This'll, if I walk, it'll go up to 72. But as you can see, it's very, very tanky. It clears this with ease. It's a fun build. It's just so much fun. I was using this for a long time before the two-hander. Just my cosmetics off. I got the Ice Azeroth sword or whatever it is from the World of Warcraft pack. But yeah, make sure you're keeping Arbiter up. And I did take a lot of Arbiter duration off, because when we use our disciple skills, we get 0.1 off the cooldown. So when you're just blasting mobs, your cooldown's going to be off before your Arbiter 4 runs out. So it's just, you know, it's easy. And then you're going to pop Holy Light Aura to keep up your Fortify. And then obviously Consecration. You put Consecration down, you get resource regen, you get health regen, and it does another 7% times extra damage. So make sure, especially if you're bossing and stuff, you stay in there. And then you're popping Holy Light Aura to just re-fortify. You get Fortify off of you know, enemies. And the good thing is, like with this build, I can stand in all this red lightning bullshit and not die in Torment 10. You go to 11 and 12, you're pretty much gonna get one shot, and it sucks. So it's just, and like honestly, you can get everything will drop from Torment 10. And it's just, this is more fun. Plus you're gonna level faster because everything's just dying instantly. You can literally just get your buffs up and walk. Now watch this boss. It's about to be absolutely wrecked.
Such a pity.
Bloop. That's it. That's it. So yeah, I think this one-handed is probably where it's gonna be, because I mean I've min-maxed the shit out of this gear, and it's just, it's in a good spot. It's a fun endgame blaster. Like I said, I just wasn't having fun on the higher torments, and I was struggling, and like, you know, really had to watch my positioning, and I wasn't getting better loot. And I have more, I can do probably 4 runs of this before I would do one run of a Torment 12. That's not true. Like probably out of every one run of Torment 12 for 2 or 3 of these, and have a chance at getting more loot to drop because you're running it faster. But yeah, that's the build. And then I'm gonna switch to the two-handed and show you guys a two-handed and what we're gonna do with that. Bumping back to Torment 11. I farm 11 with this build. I've got the two-handed. So basically the two-handed allows us to double our percent times to vulnerable enemies. This isn't an optimal two-hander. It can still be better. But I've transfigured, like I got plus 378 strength. I haven't transfigured this yet. Yeah, we don't have any block chance, so we got to remove that. I mean, there's you could roll an aspect or have talisman, where basically, and when you evade an arbiter form, you cast one of your equipped core skills. So if you got this down, you can evade every like second or less, and every time you evade, you cast Divine Lance. Also, since I'm switching to the two-hander, I need to get rid of this. You gain 133% total armor, but you're evade. What we need is to put this one on there. Your all resistance is increased while in arbiter form. That is going to be way bigger for our defense than this is. So that'll just have to be the next build update when we really min-max. But for now, we're just going to have to deal with that. So I got to keep that in mind. Yeah. So that's something I'm gonna have to do. So Torment 11, Yeah, outside of switching the weapon and the two aspects, I mean, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. So we're gonna run this on Torment 11 just so you can see. We'll get all the buffs up and I'll show you what it's looking like. I don't know why it doesn't save my cosmetics. But as you can see, even in Torment 11, we can just walk through everything here. Under 83 billion right there. I think I saw 240 last night, maybe even a 260. Let me see a big one. We gotta get we gotta get the kills and the buffs up before we can start seeing big numbers. Poisoned. But yeah, I gotta get that life on hit back, and I gotta switch the aspect. I've transfigured those pants so I can't add that aspect to get my all res in Arbiter form. Because right now we're only at 1.9 mil toughness. If we get that all res, it's gonna be way higher. It's gonna be over 2 mil. Gonna be over 2 mil, and then vulnerable damage is at 3,000, and critical strike is at 1,800. It's just so much more damage. So much more damage. So once I get a few more things sorted, it'll be tankier, and it'll just be better all around. But we gotta grind today and get that done, you know? Now I will have the guides separate. I'll have the one-hander guide and the shield, and then I'll have this one. Yeah, if you look at the bottom, we have the, 150% increased vulnerable damage. This gives us 65% times. Damage empowered by Lilith. And then just, it's so many buffs. So many buffs. I didn't even notice that last night. I was so tired last night. We streamed for like 14 hours yesterday, but I think once I get that all res back up, I get some new pants, we'll be cruising. And then we get a slightly better weapon. You can also use Zenith. It's not super strong, but it does just hit everything, There's a 235 billion, I think, on there. But it seems like Arbiter got a bit of a nerf, or even Paladin overall. And I feel like this is pretty good, 211 billion. It's more than double the damage from the single-handed. And like I said, once we get that all res and Arbiter form, we're gonna be good. But it will take you quite some time to grind for all this gear. Like I have just been farming and farming. I'm using Rax's loot filter because he made a really fucking solid loot filter. So big thanks to Rax for that. It's just literally goddamn perfect. So I've been using that. And then anything that has 2 greater affixes, I wait for it, and then I get it, and then I just see what I can do with it, and then obviously put what I need on it, and then masterwork it. Try to roll for a greater affix through the occultist, and then try to get max roll on the aspect, and then transfigure it and pray. All right, we're 4 of 4, so we can get out of here. Yeah, as you can see, this Torment 11, it's a piece of cake. 12 is a little, you got to hit them a little bit more, but the only thing is, like, you just get 1 pop to everything. So maybe if I get that all res back on instead of just the armor, because that's what's killing you is the elements. It's not really the armor, it's the elemental shit. So we should be good on that. But yeah, these damage numbers are wild. So we're gonna get in here. The snake guy. Ta-da! Torment 11. Like, I'd rather just farm Torment 11 because it's quick and fast and just hope. Oh, and like the gems aren't maxed out either. It takes forever to get like the max gems and stuff. Yeah, we max out our glyphs, which is going to take forever because I think I'm at like a 12% chance to level them up now. We get some more Paragon levels and we just kind of go from there. I mean, this is I think the two-handed is definitely going to be the way to go, but you got options. There you go. If you need to farm the Sanctums Cathamar, Ice in the Beast, or Beast of the Ice, whatever his name is, drops this. Yeah, I mean, my prized possession is probably these gloves, triple greater affix with a insane 104% critical strike chance. But that's the build update. We'll be live. Come hang out. Let me know how you feel about it. I mean, it's solid. It's solid. It's a fun endgame blaster. I like it. Anyway, you know the drill. Subscribe. Come back. See you on the next one.